Too soon. You have come too soon.
Good afternoon, sir. Could we interest you in some
Store mounts. Store mounts.
Did you say?
Store mounts. Store mounts.
Hello! Has this ever happened to you? Do you wonder why WoW players seem to hate the cash shop so damn much? Well, there is a bit of history here, and no, not all WoW players hate the cash shop to this extent, but many do have extreme issues with it. To truly understand this hatred, we have to go back to 2010. But before we go back to 2010, I would request you liking and clicking the subscribe button, as I am completely fueled by positive reinforcement. Now, on to the video. While yes, there were microtransactions before 2010 in the game, this was when Blizzard added the first store mount. If you want to know the full history of WoW microtransactions, I highly recommend Hume Redx's video on it, because there's a lot of stuff even I didn't know in there. This video isn't about the history. However, it is why WoW players hate the cash shops and the problems they have caused in World of Warcraft. We just have to go into some of that history for context. In 2010, the Sparkle Pony was the first WoW mount ever released, and was already a pay-to-win over every other mount in the game, because unlike all other mounts at the time, it was equal to your training speed. Oh, you had 60% mount speed trained? It had 60%. Did you get 100%? It got 100%. You got max flying? You guessed it, it flew at max speed. This was also around the time we started to see mass decline in the player base. Not insane, still higher than most of the Burning Crusade in fact, but this was the first time in WoW history that we saw the player subscriber count decrease instead of increase. There's also the store mount Heart of the Aspects, which released with Dragonsoul, the first ever raid to also feature Looking for Raid. That looks like he was plucked right out of a raid achievement, leading many players to believe that Blizzard was starting to take content away from the game they were paying for in order to put things on the store. Ever since, there have been a few common complaints about store mounts, but one of the biggest complaints is that they are always way cooler than anything we get in the game. We will get 7 reskins of the same horse in a patch, while the store gets a fucking pirate ship to lock you in for 6 months of game time. There is the counter argument here that many people already had 6-month subs, so they were getting it for free. But if they're already just giving it to some players for free, why not make a quest chain or something to obtain it for everyone? And granted, they still release cool mounts, like the hand mounts in 9.1, but let's be honest with ourselves. The quality of store mounts is way higher than the vast majority of in-game mounts. Most players don't want 40 new mounts to farm every patch, where 34 of them are reskins of each other. We'd rather have 5 to 6 mounts that are all unique and badass. And if you're gonna have multiple reskins, let the player earn the mount and give them the option to change the color or something. However, mounts aren't even the worst part of the cash shop. Not even close. If you are a casual Final Fantasy XIV player and don't really know much about the WoW token, let me explain it simply. A 1-month sub of World of Warcraft is $15. However, you can buy WoW time with a WoW token using in-game gold. Here's the catch. Another player, supposedly, has to buy the WoW token for $20. They then sell to this supposed buyer for real in-game gold. So you're already seeing you can buy gold for real cash in a roundabout way, and Blizz makes an additional $5 off that month's sub. So what can players do with this gold they're able to buy from Blizzard? I mean their friendly fellow players. Literally almost everything. You can buy full Mythic Raid carries, which is the hardest PvE content in the game, only equivalent to something like Ultimates. You can buy full BIS gear. You can even buy Gladiator carries, which is the highest rank in PvP season, for gold if you got the moolah and reasonably a decent amount of skill. There is very little in the game you can't buy with gold. In fact, boosting services for gold are sometimes more common in the looking for group tools than actual groups playing the content. Now, the counter argument for this is that the gold being bought is from one friendly player to another, so it's really just gold cycling around in the economy. Which, if you think everything I just said doesn't matter, sure, but tinfoil hat time. I don't think all that gold is coming from other players. At least not initially. I truly believe there are way more people who buy tokens for gold than there are people using gold to buy WoW tokens for a month of sub time. So what does this mean? One of two things if I am right. Either A, all WoW tokens are placed in a file when sold, to be able to be bought at a later time for gold via random WoW players using one, and Blizzard just sent you the gold that the current market price has them at, or B, Blizzard just gives you gold for WoW tokens and sells WoW token time to players at market price whenever they want one. Or, I guess if I'm wrong, C, for every 10 WoW tokens Timmy and his buddies buy, there are 10 real players who farmed up the gold manually to buy one for time. Sounds a little crazy, but what do I know? Either way, these systems have slowly but surely taken a lot of love for the game away and have felt like a detriment to what the players pay for. We feel like if we pay for the game and the sub, we shouldn't have additional payment systems. On top of that, cash shop items have all been tied to times where the game has declined in one way or another from the eyes of many. So there is this entanglement of two things that have become synonymous in the player's mind. The game got worse, and the cash shop grew. Thanks for watching today, folks. It means a lot of you to stop by. Next time, we're going to be doing a video on World of Warcraft's PvE next to Final Fantasy XIV's PvE, trying to get you WoW refugees to kind of understand what it'll be like for you at the end game, and for you 14 players to kind of see what it's like on the other side of the pond. So, until next time, fare thee well, weary travelers.